Mike Stan, a simple guide to infusing Stanislavski technique into your VO reads. Stella Adler, a famous acting teacher, once recounted teaching method acting to a young Marlon Brando. In the exercise, the class was preparing to embody chickens. The teacher would yell out a different scenario, "You're in a storm," and the class would react accordingly. But when the teacher mentioned, "A nuclear bomb is about to drop," every student panicked except for Brando, who quietly sat on a nest and laid an egg calmly. Why? Because, and to butcher the quote in a Brando impression all at once, "A chicken doesn't know anything about nuclear bombs." It's my hope that preceding anecdote and this article will highlight the simple application of a complicated topic, Stanislavski's system or method of acting. Over the years, method acting has been extrapolated, interpreted, and given a rather dramatic rap, but at its core, it's about responding truthfully. Wait a second, what could Konstantin Stanislavski have to say regarding voiceover? After all, Konstantin Stanislavski was a Russian actor who rose to prominence in the late 1800s, but his theories and practices on acting paved the way for modern acting as we know it today. Before Konstantin Stanislavski, acting was considered theatrical or presentational, larger than life. Through his work and his teaching at the Moscow Art Theater, he developed a system, or later what became known as a method of acting, to bringing realistic or truthful acting choices to any and every role. Now, before you go out and purchase a lab coat for your medical narration or buy a luxury vehicle to help you make your Lexus commercials more believable, let's talk a little bit about method acting. The system has a series of questions that can very easily be applied to your VO reads and auditions. 1. Who am I? Be it an announcer for a Tide commercial or an orc chieftain in a fantasy video game, there's always a role, and often answering this question can give some weight behind the words and add to the perspective of the speaker. Where am I? When approaching commercial copy, initially it can be very difficult to ask this question. Often I think of myself having a conversation at a coffee table sitting about 3 to 4 feet from the person I'm speaking to. Depending on the spot or the scene, I also consider background noise and environmental changes, like maybe a loud espresso machine. When is it? If it isn't indicated, try this a few different ways. What happens when this breakfast scene takes place early in the morning? The sun isn't even up. Or maybe it's breakfast for dinner. What do I want? Why do I want it? How will I get it? And what do I need to overcome? Questions 4 through 7 influence your read, and it should also help you find natural breaks in pacing, pitch, or volume adjustments in any given situation. The change of attitude or tactics in a voiceover scene are often what dictates rhythm, tone, and pauses. When in doubt, memory and the magic if. Another trick from Stan's system was the use of memory work and the magic if. Using personal experience is always the preference, and I try to think of situations in my life that I can use to bounce off in a real-life scenario. If I'm reading a monologue about the love of my life leaving me, I can start by remembering how I felt when I was broken up with. Oh. Now, if I don't have a memory or prior experience, I can use my imagination and keen sense of pretend to aid me by asking, what if? What if this happened to me? What if someone approached me at a grocery store singing the praises of Blue Diamond almond milk? How would I respond if someone had an announcery sound when speaking? What if I wanted to tell someone about Blue Diamond almond milk because I tried it and enjoyed it and wanted to pass that personal connection on? We often mock the request of conversational reads and narrative and commercial VO, but I think the application of Stanislavski's system of questions and the magic if will make it impossible to just feel like we're reading these things off the page. Here's hoping some of the basics of the Stanislavski system will aid your VO auditions and your bookings, and that, like Brando, you'll be chicken enough to try them out.